Hello, this is the Ramblings of an Indisciplined Mind podcast for Saturday, August 27th, 2016. As of this recording, Sierra is still missing. So it's Feedback Saturday, and I've got some feedback. Imagine that. So let's get into it. On episode 576, Nice Gals Finish First. Gary left a message that he agreed. It's nice to see people being rewarded for doing something good. So many times all we hear about are the bad things, and that's very true. So it is a nice change of pace. The next comment comes on episode 575, Act 3 in progress. Gary writes, your reviews of books, podcasts, and other stuff has been spot on. The few things I've tried based on your reviews have been enjoyable. That sounds like a great way for you to get involved more. As for the voice acting thing, the only thing you did that I didn't like was the female character voice in Borrowed Time. It left me an image of you in a wig that I still can't get out of my head. Well, maybe I need to be in a wig. I don't know. I mean, look at me. Yeah, I learned very quickly that no. Yeah, I mean, Stigler's made it work, but he's also acknowledged that his female voice sucks, and everybody gives him grief because his female voice sucks, and it's just kind of turned into part of the, the culture of listening to Stigler stuff is that you put up with his female voice and you complain about it. Now, he doesn't do that as much anymore because he's not reading as much of his work, but he still uses the same voice. And you kind of get used to it after a while. I mean, he's been doing it for 10 years, and after a while you just kind of get, oh, okay, that's the voice he does when a woman is talking. So that's it. All right, next, episode 574, The Comment Strike Back, which was last week's Saturday feedback episode. Gary, I'd asked him about using the offline editor. He says, my preference for using an offline editor is mostly for my time at work. I don't have internet access on my netbook, so at the office, so it allows me to work on my posts and just upload them later. I've been working on the new site and had the basic layout done. All that's left is to pretty up with some pictures and get going on the writing. Yeah, I'm not anywhere near. I had to put it aside so I could finish up the pitch. So I'm getting there. I'm paring that down. So I'll talk about that more on Monday. But I'm hoping to get rock and rolling on the website next week. But thanks for clarifying that. I know you guys that work in military bases have real big strictures as far as what you can have for network access, for cell phones. I actually incorporated that a little bit in the book 3 of the Nest Relevant Chronicles. No, that's not the new title. I just called it that. Yeah, so I did include a bit of that. I got 2 more here that I haven't read yet. I haven't even read these yet. I don't know what they're going to say. It's a total mystery. Also from Gary. Let's see. This is on episode 578, Phyllis Triumphs and Wired Fails. I don't understand the whole thing about the podcast either. I've been listening to him since you published Borrowed Time. It's a great way to get introduced to new writers. There have been some that I couldn't force myself to finish, but overall the podcasts on pottybooks.com are very good. Yes, I would agree with that. And it is strange, especially that something, a going concern like Potty Books, how do you miss that? Or central repository for fiction. I don't think I mentioned that, but I mean that one in particular is really surprising. And then to have people like Scott Stigler, who just recently became a New York Times #1 bestseller, and Mur Lafferty, who's won the John W. Campbell Award for new science fiction writer. I mean, these are some major publishing creds, and they've podcast fiction. And in the case of Stigler, he's still podcasting fiction, and you miss that? I would say somebody should probably lose their jobs over poor poor research. Oh no, this isn't New York Times. This is Wired. So I don't know. Maybe they heard New York Times authors or something, because I know they've had problems with that. It is pretty inexcusable. Ramblings, episode 577, where I was the game review for Survive. Gary gave it a try and died from hydration the first go around. I see what you meant when you said it reminded you a little of Text Adventures. He says, I'm not sure if I'll try it again. The jury is still out. That's funny because I never really had that much of a problem with hydration. I mean, I got low a few times, but I was able to keep up. I usually tried to keep it at least 75% or thereabouts, or maybe that was like my point where I would think, oh, I should drink a bottle of water. But if I was like at a creek or something like that where there was water available, I would tank up. Or if it was raining, because it will rain sometimes, so if you've gotten that rain catcher out there, then you can toke up on, because you got 3 water bottles, you can toke up on your water bottles and then fill them up from the rainwater. So that's kind of nice. But I'm glad you tried it. I mean, like I said, I was just trying some new things. I'm actually, it's kind of interesting because I've committed that my schedule is doing game reviews and podcast reviews, and it's I'm not necessarily looking for a new game. I'm not necessarily looking for a new podcast, but to try to find something interesting to talk about, I'm trying some things, and I'm finding some interesting things, which is kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And then the last bit of feedback I got was from David Collins Rivera off of the Google Plus, and also off of 575 Act 3 in progress. He says, I know you must have detailed what this roundtable is in a previous episode, but if so, I missed it. Could you explain it again on Saturday's feedback episode, which would be this one right here? And I would be happy to, David. By the way, if you recognize the name, or if you don't recognize the name, I have actually reviewed at some point in the past 2 of David's audiobooks. One was called Mother... Oh, shoot. I can't remember if it's Mother Ship or Mother Load. I think it's Mother Ship. Ugh. The other one is definitely Street Candles. So maybe search for that one, and that'll get you to his stuff. But you want to listen to the Mother Load Ship, whichever one it is, first, because that's the first in that series, which I really enjoyed. So, but you can, if you search for those on pensinger.com, you'll find them. So, David, and anybody else who missed it, a roundtable, I've just been calling it the roundtable, it's the Roundtable Podcast, and you can find it at roundtable.com. That's the website. And so all it is the podcast is run by Dave Robeson, if you're familiar with that name. And it's a story brainstorming podcast. So he will get I got to make sure I get this right, because to me it's always a little bit confusing. He will get a co-host to be co-hosting with him. It rotates. And then he will get a guest host, and that's going to be some sort of a writer with some cred. They've published things typically that are in the genre or close to the genre that they're going to be discussing. And so those 3 are kind of the panel. And he'll do 2 different types of episodes. The first one he'll do a 20 minutes with, where he does a lot of internet stalking. He creates this, I mean, sometimes it goes on for 5 minutes, this intro for the guest host. And, he's just trolling the internet, interviews, whatever, and the stuff he finds sometimes is just like, what are you doing, dude? Are you calling their mothers? I mean, what? Really? And it's pretty fun. And then you got the main episode, which is where you'll have those 3, and then they will bring in what he calls a guest writer, and that's somebody who has something to pitch, and he will pitch the story. That person will pitch the story, and then the team will brainstorm it. And so that's I'm somewhere on the docket, September, October timeframe. I have not yet, as of this recording, not yet received the email saying, hey, we want to schedule this for this date, but I'm trying to get ready for that. So that's what the Roundtable Podcast is. There is a Facebook group. I actually got involved in the Facebook group. It's called RA. It's kind of based off of. It's kind of based off of the NaNoWriMo kind of mode of, yeah, I was going to look it up on my little tablet here, but I think it was, yeah, I did. It was lagging so badly, I went ahead and took Facebook off because I thought, I will never need to look at Facebook on this thing. But it's using the NaNoWriMo, so it's, well, we call it Rotano. So Rotano. That's probably enough if you search for that. But what it is, it's a group that's loosely associated with the show. I mean, Dave Robeson is the one that administers it. But it's people that have been on the show. It's just people that want to talk about writing, and it's kind of fun. And the wife was actually on it, and I got on that. And then when I had the thought for the space opera, I thought, and I started listening to the show somewhere in between. I thought, I should pitch this on that because I'm thinking maybe getting some more minds on the story might take me down some paths that I wouldn't think of, and hopefully increase the awesome level even more. That's my hope. That's what I'm going for. And then the plan is NaNoWriMo this year. I write that bad boy. And then hopefully next year, the plan would be next year, it's available on ebook. Yes. That's the plan. So that's all the feedback I got. So thanks, guys, for leaving it. I really appreciate it. It's good to have a new name to say besides just Gary. So thank you, David, for your question. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate the fact that everybody listens. I do. I really do. That you take the time to listen to me prattle on. It means a lot. So I just want to say that. I will be back on Monday, rain or shine, and I'll be talking to you then. So be seeing you.